So the secret life of Walter Mitty is... Oh, sorry, I was just daydreaming. G'day guys, how's it bloody going? And welcome to m8t5 Reviews The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. So The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a mesh of different genres. It's a fantasy, adventure, dramedy kind of film. And it stars Ben Stiller as Walter Mitty. And it pretty much tells the story of Walter Mitty, this shy, boring-ass guy that hasn't done anything with his life, so he decides to go on this grand adventure to find this negative picture. You see, Walter Mitty works at Life magazine, and he works in the negative assets department. So this photographer, Sean O'Connell, played by Sean Penn, sends him a picture which he says is one of the best pictures he's ever taken, and he wants Walter Mitty to use it in the Life magazine for the final front cover. But the picture ends up going missing. So Walter Mitty goes on this grand adventure to try and find this photographer to figure out where the missing photo is. So the missing photo pretty much gives him the excuse to go on this grand adventure. So to tell you a bit more about Walter Mitty, he's pretty much a boring, shy guy, and he ends up daydreaming a lot during the day. Everybody daydreams, everybody, and you know what it's like to just go into your own little universe and then to come back to reality and like, oh shit, what happened? Apparently, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a remake that was made years and years and years ago, and I've never seen it. I thought this film was new. They're making a lot of remakes and sort of crap like that these days I've never even heard of before. So yeah, I didn't know really anything about this film, but I did watch the trailer, but I'll talk about that later. So like I said, it tries to be like different genres, but in the end, it sort of ends up not really working together. Like, some elements are better than others. But anyway, enough information about the plot and everything, let's move on to the pros and cons. Starting with the pros. This movie is visually stunning at times. I mean, the daydream sequences he has are pretty awesome, I must admit. And just when he goes on this grand adventure, you just see all this great terrain and all these great open shots of like everything. It's very visually beautifully like made, those parts of the movie. And if you're into the adventure part of the movie, this is the stuff you want to see in an adventure movie. It works great. Well, it works great for the amount of adventure there is in this movie, but I'll talk about that in a sec. I quite liked the mystery of the missing negative. Like, I just liked how he has a few clues and he's trying to figure out, you know, which clue makes sense to him and try and figure out where this photographer is. It was just a nice little puzzle mystery thing that was going on, and I like stuff like that. I like it when they try to figure out something and you're also trying to figure it out yourself, and it's just like, yeah, it's just cool. I like stuff like that. I liked how Ben Stiller made this character. He made him seem so plain and boring, but when he goes on this adventure, he's free. He plays that character well, and he just portrays someone who just goes on this adventure and he just tries to enjoy himself along the way, have some fun for once, you know. He does the character well, and I like that character. But anyways, I think that's all the pros I can think of, so let's just move on to the negatives. There's going to be a few of them. For a movie that I thought was about a daydreaming guy, there actually wasn't a lot of daydreaming, but this is kind of like adding two cons together. I watched the trailer for the film, but the trailer practically gave away most of the great daydream sequences. So every time they happened in the film, I wasn't surprised. I was just like, oh yeah, I saw that in the trailer, that's cool. But yeah, so this is another movie where the trailer kind of ruined it for me, and that just pisses me off, because if I went into this film not seeing any trailer and not knowing anything about it, I probably would have enjoyed it a bit better actually, because I saw most of the like good parts, the daydream sequences. I saw the funny parts. It's just, yeah, it's a shame. I hate it. I'm sick of trailers ruining films for me. It's starting to get really old, and, you know, I couldn't avoid it because, you know, they play trailers in movie theaters and everything, but I won't go on about it. But that's like two cons in one, but yeah, it's a shame, but yeah, let's move on. I didn't really like the scenes of Walter Mitty back home. Like, when he's home in the city, it drags on for too long, and they're visually uninteresting, and they're just generally uninteresting. But it could be the point, like, it's supposed to portray this boring world, and that's why he has all these daydreams and stuff. but unfortunately for the viewers as well, it's boring. Like I said, there's not a lot of daydreaming sequences. I would have liked more and more like visually stunning ones, because some of them are just, plain, just supposed to be like cheeky humor kind of stuff. But some of them are like, great and like amazing things happen, but there's only like a few of them, and I would have liked more to get me out of this boring world as well. And it also needed more adventure. Like, I thought he was going to like end up traveling the globe or something, but he only ends up going to like 2 places, and they're practically the same kind of looking places, but they're still visually great. But I would have liked more of the movie to be about the adventure. Like, I wouldn't have minded if there was less daydreams, if there was a lot of adventure, but like I said, there's a lot of grindiness with when he's back home, at his job and at his home. It grinds for too long, and it just gets a little boring, and yeah, you just want the adventure to come back, and when it does, it's like, oh yeah, that's great, but then it goes back home again. It's just like, damn it. Gonna sit here for another 15, 20, half an hour just to get to the good stuff. It just sucks. I really didn't like the romance love plot in this movie. It was just really dull and boring, and I didn't give a shit. Like, pretty much one of the main focuses of his movie is that he has like this epic crush on this Kristen Wiig character. And so he daydreams about her, like, not sexually, but he daydreams about her and, like, stuff like that, and he keeps daydreaming that, like, he's gonna get the woman and stuff like that. And, yeah, I found the whole romance plot to be boring, and it just dragged on with all the home stuff. Practically every time the movie came home, it was crap. It was too much negatives in those parts. It's just, the love plot is just weak, and it was cliche, and it just felt annoying and unnecessary to me. But anyways, I'll just move on. And again, with being back home and at his job, the characters are uninteresting besides Walter Mitty, really. Like, you don't really learn about any of them, you don't have time to learn any about them. You pretty much have the person he has a crush on, and you have the dickhead boss, or the new like the new manager or something. He's a real asshole, and he's supposed to be, that's the point. But the characters are just generally uninteresting, and I didn't really care. It's just, yeah, I would have liked more interesting characters, maybe the odd funny guy or something, but it just didn't. Like, it was just, yeah, I would have liked more interesting characters. Like Walter Mitty himself, he is boring as shit when he's at home, but that's the point. When he goes on this adventure, he opens up and he's free, and he just feels good, and he just enjoys it as much as he can. But yeah, just you don't get that from the other characters, so their lives are just boring. It's just I didn't care about these people. I don't even remember their names, but yeah, I didn't mind the photographer character, Sean Penn's character. But he wasn't really in the movie much, but he was the only sort of interesting character. I would have liked to learn like more about him or something. I didn't understand the relationship between him and Walter Mitty. I don't remember it explaining their relationship, and so it felt like they were like gay lovers at times. I can't really remember what it was, and yeah, you guys might see it, but I think I missed it. Must have been in one of those boring home parts, because I just missed what their relationship was, and they seemed to be very close, and just stuff like that. But yeah, maybe you'll get it, but I didn't. And I felt that the ending to this movie was weak. By the end of the movie, I was just disappointed with the overall, like, just how it ended. Like, I can't really explain it without giving anything away, but let me just say that I knew what it was going to be. Like, I knew how it was going to end, and I knew it was going to be, and I was afraid it was going to be that, and it did happen, and it was just like, that's lame. It's just, yeah, it was just lame to me, and yeah, well, yeah. So yeah, I just found the conclusion lame, and I would have liked a better, ending. So yeah, those are pretty much my pros and cons. Pretty much the main parts of the movie I did enjoy were the daydream sequences and the adventure he goes on, but there was a lot more like city stuff than I thought there was going to be. Like, I honestly thought that the first section, like the first part of the movie, the first quarter of the movie, might be him in the city, doing shit, and then he just goes on this grand adventure for the rest of the movie. But that's not what happens. He only has like a grand adventure for about like half an hour to 45 minutes of the movie, and all of it is just this boring home shit, and it's just, I don't know why. I wanted more adventure. That's what I wanted. I don't give a shit about the romance. I don't really care for just anything at home. I just want him to find this picture and just go on this grand adventure and figure out a mystery. I would have liked a bit more mystery, more puzzles, more clues, just stuff like that. So talking of genres, I say the romance didn't work, and the comedy kind of felt weak too. It was more of a drama than a comedy. In places you see that it tried to be funny, but it's not like laugh out loud kind of funny. It's kind of like a something like that. It's not funny. It's more, this movie's more of a drama. Kind of disappointing. I would have liked it to be a bit more funnier, but that's what happens when you mix so many genres into one. But I would have liked it to be a bit more funnier. I probably would have enjoyed the film a lot more if it was just more funny. So yeah, I don't know how to recommend this movie, because like I said, the parts I enjoyed the most was when he was on this adventure, but there wasn't a lot of adventure, and the daydreams were cool, but most of them were spoiled by the trailer. But yeah, it's just, I don't know how to recommend this one. If you like Ben Stiller, you like a bit of adventure, you like mystery, I would see this movie. I mean, it's a movie that I probably won't bother to see again, but at least it's a movie that I've seen and I've experienced once, and I know what it is, and it's just, it was good. But I wouldn't recommend this movie if you're expecting it to be a laugh-out-loud comedy, all adventure, because it isn't all adventure. And if you don't like romance, because that was fucking boring for some reason. I didn't like it. Yeah, so it's a hard one to recommend, this movie. I'd say see it at least once, maybe wait for it to come out and rent it one day or something. I wouldn't really buy it personally, but if you don't want to go to the movies to see it, maybe just rent it one day. Just for a relaxing movie with like the girlfriend or something, But yeah, I'll probably never bother to really watch it again unless I have to, because there are so many more awesome adventure movies, and this movie just didn't hit all the high notes for me. So yeah, I pretty much talked about and covered everything that I wanted to talk about. So have you seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty? What did you think of it as a whole? Did you think all the genres worked well together? And yeah, just stuff like that. Did you enjoy the movie? If there's any questions you have about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, please leave a comment down below. And if you like this review and you want to see more, remember to like me on Facebook or to subscribe to me on YouTube if you want to see more. Alright guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the new webcam too. Had to get a new camera because my old one broke, but I hope it's alright. It looks alright. Alright, thanks very much guys. m8t5 is bloody out of here.